Hi team, welcome to Thursday Thoughts. So today I think what I wanted to chat about is brains. I think that our brain is super cool. I think our brain is super interesting, and I think that everybody can benefit from learning a little bit about brain function and brain development so that you have a bit of an idea about why we do the things we do. Because again, like I said last week, knowing is the first step to changing things or to supporting yourself with things or to understanding why perhaps your child or your teen or somebody in your family or somebody close to you is experiencing things the way they experience them. So learning a little bit about the brain basics, I think, is super important for every single person. Doesn't matter if they're 5, 15 or 50. And you can do it in a variety of ways. So you can go on and obviously do some research. There's a bunch of websites that have reliable information. I particularly like to use the Kids Helpline because even if you're a grown person, the Kids Helpline has a really nice way of putting the information that helps us remember it. Because if you're like me, I'm never going to remember the scientific terms or the medical terms around each section of our brain because our brains are so complex. But I can easily remember that we have a thinking brain in the front portion, we have an emotional brain, which is towards the back and it's quite small, and we have a survival brain, which is our brain stem. Knowing what each of those components do and knowing some real simple rules, like when our survival system's turned on, our thinking brain's turned off. So, people might say things like, it's really like they stop listening to me and I can't reason with that person. And, it's not working what strategy you're asking me to do with them during a time where they're feeling dysregulated or feeling unsafe. And there's a perfectly logical reason for that, and that's because their survival brain is switched on. Therefore, their reasoning, the frontal cortex, the thinking brain, their reasoning is switched off. So they're not going to be able to reason with you during that time. The other cool thing about knowing what's going on in your brain is you know how to respond when something's going on that way. So it could be that you know how to respond to your own responses when your survival brain switched on, for example. You know what things you need to do in order to help that calm that survival system and turn your thinking brain back on again. And you can use some coping strategies that may help you with that. Or you may need some coping strategies that are going to help you help another person while they are experiencing a time where their survival system and survival brain is switched on. One of the challenging things is that we don't get to choose what other people find scary or what other people have anxious responses to, or not everybody thinks in the same way. Not everybody has the same systems that are operating in their brains at the same time. So I could talk for hours and hours and hours about brains because, like I said, I think it's super interesting. If I had another chance at giving a career a go, I reckon I might have dove into that space a little more had I known then what I know now. But, this is life, isn't it? So, learn a little bit about the brain. Go and have a look at some of those websites like the Kids Helpline or Raising Kids Network, or a quick Google search on brain basics is going to bring you up with heaps of hits because obviously it's been researched to the cows come home. So go and find out some brain basics, something that you're going to remember and something that's going to help you respond when your survival system's on, or perhaps something that's going to help you respond to somebody else when their survival system's on. That's all. Thursday Thoughts. See ya.